Good afternoon, traders. Let's understand what's happening in the market. Now, most of you are quite aware that people tend to say, "Oh, yeah, it is stopping at some sort of support here." I think demand and supply people will put this and they say, "Okay, it has tested once, it has tested two, now it is invalid." And they are probably right. It is invalid. Usually, this tool, what you have, is an tool that makes you to uh, prefer for, or it makes you to understand that the market is bouncing up, but it is making a lower high. Yes, it is true. And from this perspective of the trend line perspective, you can see the market has bounced, rejecting the trend line. Okay. Now it looks so good. I mean, like, oh, what a important message it is. What a important technique it is. It looks very good. Yes, but the idea of this becoming in a trading method is needs a very detailed versions. For instance, let me go to this demand zone on the, say for example, background. Let me reduce this color to this. Okay. Okay, fine. Let me reduce this to demand zone and let me go back to 15 minutes. When the market went up, the actual demand zone is somewhere here. This is the demand zone. Yes. Market went up here, and in the morning what happened? Market opened hit at this place. So let me tell you, if you don't know the odds and answers, one second, let me open that odds and answers. Okay. So here, let me pick the tool and let me explain you odds and answers. Of course, it is available in the internet. You can download it for free. There is no issue. Whenever you see a supply pattern is formed, then the market will come down. Then you need a demand pattern where the demand creates and then the market will boost up. Yes, it is based on the supply and demand. And these are the odds, supply sell levels. So these are the best sell level is this, that the market makes very sharp supply. The good one is it overlaps, it keeps overlapping. And the poor is it has got a many green bars when it is a sell setup, it has a red bars when it is a buy setup. So more red bar ignored means the market is very sluggish. This is a green setup, that is buy setup, and this is also buy setup, demand setup. So this is how the price has to accelerate. Basically, this what explains is that the demand and supply has to have its own odds and answers. Sometimes what happens, supply comes, it drops, then it goes back straight away to the same place. Okay. From there, you have a sell setup because there is a still the supply is not ignored. So you have a sell setup. Here it green overlaps. The green overlaps the bar. Here green rumps to the supply. And here it is very poor because of the risk. I mean the depth is very low here. It's only 0.5%. It is 1%, and it is more than 1.5%. This is how you need to understand sell setups. The demand basically gaps up, comes back and tags the demand and then start moving up. It is a poor setup and it is a very weak setup because it is only a 0.5% gap up. Same thing happened in the morning, less than 0.5% gap up, and you can also consider that these are the demand and supply, poor risk to reward, All these things you need to have a bigger picture before you make a entry in the market. Okay, these are the odds and answers, and you can always get it, and you can understand them. You can understand them how demand and supply works. Okay, so coming back to this, what we saw price in 15 minutes. We saw this price went up, could not hold, and it created a supply here, and it created a base here, and it broke the base. And how did it break the base? It broke very sharply. Then when there is a green bar ignored, third green bar ignored, and then we have a doji. I mean, we have a we are in somewhere in demand, but we exceeded this supply demand, suggesting that we are still in a bearish sentiment. Okay. So what happens if this is broken? We want this to be tested, or we want this demand to be hold. But in order to understand that whether demand will hold or demand will continue to move down, I mean supply will continue to increase, you need to understand the structure also. Structure, you can see this went back, took a supply of 60%, more than 70%. This went back and took the supply of 50% of this length. So these are just taking a supply of 20% and 30%. So in my view, it may come down to here, and then from there it can make a new move up. So I am seeing a contraction here. Contraction means you can see from this high the trend line is drawn. From this high there is a one more trend line is drawn. But from the downward side you don't have a much this thing. So what I am seeing is a contraction of trend here. Trend is getting contracted. Can this gap up tomorrow? It can gap up tomorrow and go here and take a supply and come back here. It can remain here until there is a decision that comes out, either go up or breaks this and go close below. Okay. I hope you understand this. All right. This is all for today. Thank you very much.